humanity, we kind of want convenience. We want comfort, right? I mean, think about this. If we were all cavemen, if we can go back, whatever, 500 years, 1,000 years, and if this is our cave and we have to go outside of the cave to get water, to get fruit and vegetables, to get meat, we're going to have to risk our lives. To get water, we have to take a piece of stump, hollow it out, carry it to the river while some fucking saber-toothed tiger is trying to eat us. And then we're running from this motherfucker. By the time we get there, it's probably half a cup of water left in there. We dump it in the thing and we now risk our lives again. And then some knucklehead figured out that, you know what, if I can just create a pipe from that river to my cave, I'm not going to get attacked by the saber-toothed tiger. So convenience, evolution is a good thing. However, there is such thing as so convenient that you begin to erode your mental, emotional, physical muscles. And so I think what happened is, refrigeration takes place. And so now we don't have to worry about fresh food. We can now take food from this part of the country to that part of the country. So now we're refrigerating food. And then they figure out, well, that's convenience. How else can we make food more convenient? Well, gosh, what if we can package it? And if we package it, there's an expiration date on it. When I came to America, whole milk had a very short expiration date. Today, I look in my fridge, it's like over 2 months long for whole milk. What the fuck happened in between 1980s and 2025 that what are they putting in our whole milk or injecting the cows with that milk doesn't rot as quickly? But I get it. It's convenience, right? Now we can buy a whole bunch and put it in the fridge, but something took place. And so we're over-processed in terms of food. We're adding so much growth hormones, testosterones, fillers, grains, genetically modified shit. Our bodies are inflamed. I'm in Australia and I'm reading food labels on a Kit Kat bar, on Hunt's ketchup, and it's different than the food labels here. Going back to Australia, I'm beginning to believe maybe America is not the greatest country after all.
America is the greatest consumer, but we're advocates of America being the greatest country, but then we question these things too because, like you said, the ketchups, the food
the juices,
dyes. And when was it? A few weeks back, I think, when we had the pediatrician on a month or two ago, it's like a lot of parents fall into this. You see them giving their kids juice, right? It's like you ask them, well, why are you giving them a juice out of a box or out of a plastic container? It's organic. What's organic about it? Can you tell me? How is that juice able to sit in your garage for 12 months, doesn't expire, and then when you want to drink it, you'll put it in the fridge for half a day so it cools off, and then you'll give it to your kids? Mm-hmm. How did that juice stay in that perfect condition for 12 months? Because if you make fresh apple juice at home, you literally have like an hour to drink it.
It'll go rancid immediately.
Yeah.
It's fun you say that, man, because that's literally, ever since you told that story, that's all that crosses my mind anytime we juice at home. 2 days ago, my daughter's like, can we make some smoothies, some juices? We took some apples, oranges, blueberries, blackberries, the whole 9 yards, put it in there, added some water, juiced it, and then she drank most of it along with me and the wife. And then I put it in the fridge. And then the next day I went to pick it up to have the rest of it. And you look at it, you're like, this
looks like sewer water.
Yeah. It doesn't.
It darkens, it separates.
Yes,
right?
You had the separation, you had the thick on the top, you had the juice on the bottom, and you're just like, I remembered almond right away. I was like, holy shit, man. What is in these Capri Suns, these
Sunny Delights,
Minute Maids that it's sitting on that shelf for months? I wanted to do an experiment. I wanted to go grab a Sharpie and go to like a local Vaughn's or a Ralph's and just make a little X on one of these Minute Maids or one of these Sunny Delights, and then come back to it maybe a couple weeks later just to see if that was picked up or not.
Right. Makes you wonder, doesn't it? And so when you look at that, the highly processed foods, the chemicals that we put within the foods to increase shelf life, and then the chemicals that we put into the animals or the plants to make them more robust, so that they're not, let's say,
scrawny,
number one, or plants that aren't eaten by bugs and stuff, right? And like Monsanto beans, right? We know that is heavily genetically modified. And then you add technology where now as you said earlier. No one's playing with the stick, digging a hole, doing anything active to burn calories. So now we're putting processed food, a massive amount of calories, because the convenience of food being relatively cheap. Food is relatively cheap still. It is very cheap still to get. And if food is cheap to get, it's because it's full of fillers, it's the lowest quality, it's prepackaged, and then you've got inactivity, and then parents are not encouraging their kids to go out and play. And then what did schools do? Right around after I graduated high school, they started to cut the funding for PE and sports, right? So physical education and sports. And so now you take that away. And I get it. They also started cutting like things for other like the arts and music.
How about this? Wood shop, metal shop,
Right.
home economics.
Right. I had automotive class, man. I know,
yes.
like I did shit. Like at 17 years old, I knew how to like work on my car.
Bro, we were welding. We were welding shit in high school.
There'd be a protest right now. How dare you give my kid bring him so close to a welding device? Like what the fuck, right? And so we fatten them up. And then we completely inflame their bodies. And then, by the way, we don't teach them the macros. We teach them a food pyramid that is heavily based on grains and sugars.
Yes.
Right. And then we make them inactive. And then we take away what little activity they had in school. And then we go, 30 years later, why is everybody obese? Maybe we should just take some, what is it, GLP-1, those injections now that are for diabetics. Ozempic, exactly. I just saw an ad this morning. I was working out at a UFC gym, and I saw an ad, Ozempic only starting at $499 a month. When I was a personal trainer doing one-on-one personal training, people would argue with me for $499 a month for 3 times a week with a personal trainer, where I'm going to teach you, literally, because your body did not come with the owner's manual. Like the average person doesn't know how to exercise, when to start, when to stop, what to do, how to eat, how to recover. They would argue with me about that. Yet they're running ads for $499. You can start injecting this bullshit into you. And if you stop because you've done no education to learn how your body works, you're going to become a fat fuck again. Yet $499, no one's batting an eye. But $499 for a personal trainer, that's too expensive.
You know what? I never thought of it that way. That's such a fascinating analogy. I mean, even if it was not $499, let's say, for example, you were to hire a personal trainer for $150 a month. A lot of people would resent that. They'd be like, you know what? That's very expensive. $150. Who are you to make $150 just off of me? And then they begin to calculate how much you're making based off of what you're charging them. Well, if he's charging me $150 and I referred him 5 other clients, that's another $150 from each one. And then God knows how many he picked up online. This guy's making hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. I don't think he deserves my business. Then jealousy comes into factor. And again, the complacent, it's an excuse. I think that's what it is. I think the big key word there is an excuse. People are finding an excuse to have the easy way out for everything.
Which goes back to, again, comfort and convenience, because it is a lot easier to take a shot and then say, I'm not hungry. And if I try and eat something, I get nauseous. So I just won't eat anything. And I'll just doom scroll on my shit while I lose weight. But the weight they're losing is bone density, muscle, water, and then a little bit of fat. And at some point, you're going to have to get off that Ozempic. And when you do, you're gaining it all back.
And I don't even think it's a healthy way of losing weight. Because
not only are you gaining it back, for the record, you guys are all going to have GI problems in 5 years, 10 years. If you're in medical school, go to GI fellowship, because that's going to be, other than mental illness, GI is going to be the next big thing with everybody on Ozempic. Because it's artificially not allowing your intestines to do what it's supposed to do.
But isn't it a diabetic medicine? Because it was made for like people who have really, really high...
Correct. And that's why...
Insulin, yes.
And that's why it's causing GI issues, because I don't remember the medical terms for it, but there's something that your intestines extract where it digests the food in a way, but Ozempic prevents that happening to keep your insulin levels lower so that your glucose doesn't go up. And so what that does is it's not allowing your intestines to have its natural process of digesting the food and pushing it down to your stomach and everything else that's supposed to happen. From your intestines to your colon and everything. Yeah. So that's causing a lot of GI issues long term. But most people don't care because instant gratification, right? In 4 weeks, I lost 15 pounds. I could fit into my wedding dress or my bridesmaid's dress or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody's thinking about the long-term repercussions, but just keep this video in mind. Watch what happens to all these people. I hope I'm wrong, but most of them are going to have GI issues in about 5-10 years.
The truth is, you're not wrong. And by the way, we've seen the cycle repeat itself before. So this is the first time. You guys remember fen-phen?
Yeah.
Right? It was
No, what is fen-phen?
Fen-phen was two, so it's PHEN and FEN, two different drugs. One started with the letters PHEN, the other one started with FEN, and you take these two pills together, and it was basically a upper. It was like methamphetamines.
Holy shit, really?
Yeah.